Beauty? What are you doing? What are you telling me to leave out? Oh, are you glad you have to do this? Or are you sad you want to do this?
I feel like I would.
You say maybe. Just pick you up. Next time, pick a male. Because they're the pig yet.
They're the ones.
You need to do.
Class number 2, make your way over to the holding pen, please. Class number 2 to the holding pen. Class 2.
Join me tomorrow. I forgot all about that. Sitting on the counter full of all that crap. I forgot. I should put it up in front of me. Sitting on the counter for I know. No.
Well, good morning, everybody. Sure happy to be here with you all today in Colville, sorting the Hog Show. And I think we kick things off with a really, really nice a lightweight class of pigs. We're going to go ahead and ask these two young people here closest to me to come back for your top 20 deal. No particular order. Haven't ranked these two yet in particular. I'll go ahead and share my thoughts. Young Lady's Guilt, I think bar none, the stoutest featured pig in this entire class. Like this one's strength of jaw, the stoutness and size she's got to her forearm, the biggest and broadest in terms of her back. I think maybe with that power comes just a little bit more coarseness as we read her as well. Maybe just a notch more open about her blade and elbow, a little bit stiffer there and bigger about her hock joint, but still powerful. I think when the young lady applies the whip, a really nice one that still motors out plenty fine. Young man's like this one's height of blade. I think this one's short-backed and appropriate in terms of his body length. I think can present with a good and uphill trending look from the side. As we study this one's rear skeleton, though, maybe just a notch straighter and frailer in the way that he uses his hind leg. And at this weight, probably could be freshened up just a nickel in terms of his flank. But two good pigs to sit there on the top end of this class that I think offer some trade-offs, but we'll be certainly excited to see later on. Young Lady's Guilt's going to end up third for us today, and one that you appreciate just in terms of her range of motion. You like her flexibility, and then still a bold cage kind of a gilt that studies with a nice square shape up high. I guess as we get studying this one, I'd like to secure in terms of her hop. I'd like to lengthen and level out her hip and then just make her a notch taller there at the top of her shoulder. Young man in the corner over there with the belted hog is going to be fourth today, and I think there's a lot of things to like in that pig as we study that one down his back. Big and greased up in terms of his shape, stout skull, wide-eyed kind of a bear that I think for having all of that mass, for having all of that bulk, needs to go better, needs to go freer off both ends of his build to go up and move up in our top 5. Young Lady's going to conclude our top 5, though, with a pig that I think is real long spined, an extended kind of a bear who I think is good in terms of his flexibility and just overall comfort level. We study that one coming and going, though. The narrowest at the base of his chest in the top 5, just a little bit too flat in terms of his ribcage design for this judge, Young Lady. But a nice class and an excellent top 5. Go ahead, if you're ringside, put your hands together and congratulate those exhibitors.
Coming back in for our champion drive will be Riker Woodward and Hudson Wolf. Exhibitors have those guys ready for us at the champion drive. Okay, class number two's got 13 entries. 13 entries in class two. Weight range 240 to 245 pounds. 13 entries.
Yeah.
Okay, so would I just search for Summit County?
Summit County College, Utah. And then it's
I have an 86-year-old mother that would, I mean,
yeah,
she's in searches every week, so
that's why we do it.
yeah, thank you.
You bet. Man, man,
Yes.
if you, let's do this. Throw your phone number in there.
Okay.
And then I'll get the link off of my mobile YouTube and put it in there. That's probably easier.
Okay.
Okay? YouTube. You got to compliment.
Get in front, kid.
Get in front of him. Get in front of him. Yeah.
Hey, coming your way.
You're awesome. Thank
You
you.
bet, yeah.
Same problem with yesterday. He's trying to get out.
Okay, class number 3, start making your way over to the holding pen, please. Class 3 to the holding pen, class 3.
Hey, I look at that match in today's standards. They definitely teach you to grab and just running out there. What was your Charlie? You can't name it real Charlie.
I think a really I think a really nice way here to go ahead and progress our market hog show this morning. Good class, good top five. I think a lot of good things represented in these pigs. And when I made my initial sort there to get these top five where they were, I guess we're just looking at overall muscularity and end product potential. We're studying compositional correctness, these things. And then once we check those boxes, which I think all of these pigs do, then we can start evaluating and picking apart some build and some balance things in these pigs. But overall, I think a really nice group. We're going to ask the young lady here driving away from me and the young man in the red tie to come back in no particular order for the top 20. I think bar none in this class, the two highest quality individuals that match up in that regard. A lot of differences, though. I think the young lady's gilt, super stout in terms of her forearm, big in terms of her cage. I like that gilt's muscularity. Really like that one's back shape and how that one studies up high. Probably just not the most loose and agile in terms of her hop. Probably just needs to go a little bit better there, but a really nice one. And then the young man's kind of chromed up gilt that's going to go second. Like that one from the side. I thought that one, just in terms of her height of leg, her elevation up front, and still to have that kind of levelness. I thought a very long-reaching kind of a gilt too. That I think when maybe we start studying it and start comparing those top two, needs to be wide, needs to be stout there at the base of her chest, maybe giving a notch more turn to her body. The young lady's calico hog that's going to go third for us today. Really like that one's bulk and overall density. Think that one's extremely stout mug. Think that one offers just a lot of shape and end product potential. I think with that, though, on that same token, needs to be more secure in how he uses his hind leg. He's starting to throw more crest on top of a more mature head and skull as well. Young lady's gilt that was kind of fighting her in the corner there is going to go fourth. Really like this one's freshness, this one's overall youthfulness, leanness, and expression up high. I think that one does decide to get out and drive a sound structured kind of a gilt that simply needs to be toughened up in terms of her jaw, stout about her foot and feature. And then the young lady's blue-butted kind of gilt's going to round us out. Really like that one as you study her top side skeleton, her leanness and expression of muscle there. That one, though, we need to relax in terms of her spine, stouten up her hind leg, and just hinge that one a little looser, on both ends of her build. But a nice top five and a nice class. Go ahead, if you would, give a big round of applause to those individuals that have exited the ring.
Coming back out of that class two is going to be Austin Thomas and Olivia Woolston. Have those two ready to come back, guys, at the end. Exhibitors in top five. When you're in the ring and the judge is still talking reasons and talking about your hogs, please do not release yourself. Okay? He's talking about your pig and your product. Don't go back to your pen yet. When he's done, we'll let you go. Last three. Class 3, 12 entries, 247 pounds to 255 pounds. Class number 3, 12 entries, 247 to 255. Bring them in.
me them raffles that are no good and all kinds of well, the whole 5 years. Bigger than he is. But I know. You could ride that big.
Hey, that's my man in this one. Let's go. Yeah. He's coming. He's right there. Come on out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Hey, what's home? Guy, oh yeah, that's awesome. I'm the male.
You know what? Yeah. There you go. rallies in the background back there. We won't even see now.
Yeah.
Bite you.
Class number 4, make your way over to the holding pen, please. Class 4 to the holding pen. Class 4.
Purpose pan.
Okay, guys, come drive.
I think a phenomenal class. Go ahead before I start talking and put your hands together for these young people. I think we're at that point in the show where, man, we're checking off a lot of those market fundamentals way down deep. I know I was talking to some of those kids that end up 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and their pigs have got the right kind of shape. They've got the right kind of compositional correctness. Maybe there's just some build and some balance things that we need to fix in those pigs just to get them up here in the top 5. But overall, very pleased. And I think we end up maybe not similar in every regard here, but a group of 5 pigs that I think comes together real nice. We're going to go ahead and ask these 2 young people to come back for our top 20 in no particular order.
Coming back on that top 2 is going to be Lindsay Downard and Levi Richards. Coming back top 10.
Just to give you my thoughts and my what I read in these pigs. All black pig, I think, is way neat. There's a lot of cool things about this one. This one's stout and slick in terms of his jaw, one that runs uphill when the young man will fly a whip and get this one to drive. Like this one's shape up high, and I think for having such stout lower limbs, one that gets out and goes very well. A lot of things I like about in that Barra. Probably just not, although as we start studying them, probably just not the cleanest there at the top of his crest or the boldest as we start studying full rib shapes, but little things on a good one there. Young ladies gilt that's also going to come back. I think there's a lot of things to like as well. Like studying this one coming at me because really wide-chested, bold in terms of her cake shape, big in the shape that she presents with up high. A lot of dimension and a lot of stoutness I read in this gilt. As the drive wears on, I think still a very agile, a very mobile gilt young lady that I think you have to appreciate a lot of things about. I don't think maybe she's just as perfect in the way she transitions from her spine to her hip. Maybe just not perfect either in how she plants those front feet at the surface. Again, little things on a good one there. Young man's blue pig's going to end up and be 3rd for us today. Really like this one's height the blade. I think as the young man applies the whip and drives that one, a proportionate tall-fronted one that's slick up front. Ultimately, though, I think as we start driving him in, as we keep on watching, I got to fix his hind leg, young man. He just reads too frail, just reads a notch too straight in how he uses it. But a really good-looking one there that's going to get beat on a very little thing. Like I said, a good pig there. A young man brings us one that's going to go 4th. Really like this one from the side as well. Up-fronted, tall-fronted kind of a bear that's got a really nice look, level and proportionate, slick and attractive, I think. On that same token, maybe some of that refinement and attractiveness starting to play to that one's detriment. Just reading him a notch frailer in terms of his jaw and his foot. And then as he goes away, he needs to be just a little bit better and more secure in how he plants and he uses his hind leg. Young lady's going to round out this top 5 with a really big back bear that I think, studies with a nice shape there to his body, stout in terms of his forearm. As we compare him, though, to the ones that go against him, probably the lower fronted option of this particular drive just needs to be a little bit slicker and cooler there ahead of his blade. But great top 5 and a great class. My congratulations goes to all of those exhibitors.
Class number 4 coming in now. Class number 4, 12 entries, 257 pounds to 264. Class 4, 12 entries, 257 to 264 on the weights. Go ahead and bring them in, Cody.
know, right? Put her on take CrossFit, let Chance look it over. They have CrossFit. They do big Hello, Todd. What a good one. Look, beauty. Where's my good one? Ain't now. Ain't now. You're going two different directions at once. Hey, 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 look at that bag. Gummies, big ones. I did, but I see what it was. Grandma had water. Yeah. Yep. Grandma had water. I believe you. What's the button? There you go. Why'd you have red? So that one girl is a lot. Yeah. And then I know the former kid, Urban. Hey, you big humps. You got big humps. You know what big ones are? They're happy, they're chewy, they're white with nuts. You ever had one? Grandma opened them. They're Sparkler's gummies or something. I thought you did awesome.
So another thing I got,
Hey, babe.
man, I got.
Hey, you want this?
Look at this big spot.
Wow.
That big trail of the tunnel of pork chop lane. Pork chop lane's the name of it, right? Pork chop lane. You gonna come back to the rodeo tonight? Well, I don't know. It's your fair. There's only one. Friday, Saturday. Today's
Well,
Friday.
there's
There's only one rodeo tonight. Oh. You know, in our rodeo on Saturday night, Miko had mutton or rolled sheep. They're all blue.
You hold on backwards.
What?
You hold on backwards.
He did. He did. Lean back and do that thing.
I think another really nice class. Market Hogs this morning here. Gonna ask the young man with the all black gilt, the young lady right here, to come back for the overall top 20 deal. But really, really nice job to all the exhibitors. Yep, go ahead. Big round of applause for them. I think another really nice class. Really like how this top five came together for us. I think some pigs that in varying degrees blend the right kind of mass, the right kind of stoutness with still an attractive look and a mobile build. Just to describe some differences that I see in these top two pigs in no particular order. The young man's all black gilt, I think, does a lot of things good. Massive in terms of her blade, huge in how she presents up high, a lot of shape and dimension in this gilt. She's appropriate in terms of her body length, and I think accordingly proportions out pretty nice from the side here. Maybe just not the most extended there ahead of her blade, or just neatest. And I don't think for all the mass she has up high, maybe matches it with the same kind of stout rear foot. But those are little things, and a really good one that I think offers a lot of polarizing pieces. Young lady's Vera here is kind of different in a lot of regards. Read this one a notch longer and later in terms of his maturity, like this one's height of blade and how this one's proportions running uphill from the side. I think while maybe just a notch timid in the way he moves off both ends, I studied the angles of that guy's build, right? If we want to get critical on him, though, I think it's this view right here. We need to square him up in terms of his loin edge and then just see more outer turn and bulk there to his center body. But again, little things on two really nice pigs there that are going to go ahead and come back and join us. Young lady's got a Vera here to go third that I think is still way good. Like this one's height, the shoulder, I think this one does study and probably a notch square than the one that we're going to keep back in terms of his back shape. Love how big and expressive this guy is about his upper hip. I guess as the drive wears on and we start studying structure, and in particular that guy's rear skeleton, I think you'll want to tighten up at his ham-loin junction, read shorter about his hip there, and just reads a notch too short and quick stepping for this judge in particular. Little things, young lady, on a very nice pig that's going to go third. Young man's got one low fourth. I love this one's lower skeleton because she's got big and stout lower joints that work very well. A productive kind of a gilt that's good in terms of her center body. When we start studying this one blade forward, though, I don't think she comes as attractive as the ones that we've talked about. As we just start studying back width and shape, probably just a little bit underwhelming in those regards. But I love this one coming at me. I really like that one's lower joint work, and that's where I think she edges out the Duroc that's going to round us out our top five, because I like the way that this one proportions from the side, young lady. Really tall bladed kind of a gilt that's level in terms of her spine. Like this one's range of motion, flexibility, and just overall comfort level. I just don't think she comes with the same kind of bulk and mass as the four ahead of you there. But a great top five and a great class. Go ahead if you're ringside. Congratulate those exhibitors with a big round of applause.
Exhibitors class number 5, make your way over to the show or the sale or the holding pen. Sorry, holding pen, class 5, holding pen. Coming back in class number 4, Cutler Woolston-Hume and Olivia Woolston-Hume, both coming back. Class number 5, over to the holding pen. Class 5, holding pen. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with class number 5. 13 entries, 265 pounds to 270 pounds. 13 entries, 265 to 270.
Hey, this one was in my park because it's a raptor. There's one in the top open. Push it out, it's already open. The other end. Squeeze it, it's already open. The other end. Yeah, that end. Well, I heard a pop.
What do you want? What do you have?
Big hog. Yes. There's that. There's
Oh my God.
there's
Oh good.
collage.
Good motherfucker. That makes me feel like all the work with it. Because every time I
Get past the
so bored. Oh, 3 days of mind-numbing stuff. So I'm glad. Thank you so
He
much.
sent me, this is him in Africa.
That is so cool. Thank you. Thank you. Now I can go home happy.
Yes.
Hey, you little varmint. I'll give you a clock. Right in the lip. Is that wrapper? Your trash? Hey, pick up them microwaves for me, would you? The lightsaber. That's a happy kid. That's what you call a happy dad. Hey, look, there's two different colors on them. Did you see that? Don't spit them out. It did not.
Okay, we have some educational display awards to announce. So for your hog educational display, in second place was Trayson Fawcett, and your winner was Aspen Silcox. If your name is announced, you can come and get your premium money at the table. For your beef educational display, first place was Fallon Silcox, and second place was JW Silcox. For your lamb educational display, first place was Cutler Hartman, and second place was Audrey Garn.
I'll take them.
Good job.
Okay, I'm on my way.
Class number 6, make your way to the holding pen, please. Class number 6, make your way over to the holding pen.
Wait, how many holes?
Two young people right here are going to come back for our top 20. Go ahead and give a big round of applause. I think as we talk about sorting and lining this one up, especially on these top five here, maybe just not the most uniform set in terms of their type and kind. But when it comes down to it, and when it comes down to making that initial sort, for me, I guess it just comes down to who can total up the most amount of good, who has the maybe the more farther outreaching pieces, I guess. And that's what really I kind of landed on these top five. Just to go ahead and share my thoughts on the top two pigs that are going to be coming back. A young man brings us one here, done a phenomenal job with her skin and hair. Gilt that I think you have to like a lot of things about in terms of her chest width, her body shape. As we study this one's loin and back, a lot of good things. Still a gilt that I think gets out and motors particularly well, proportionate kind, who's maybe just not the most attractive there as we study her skull and at the base of her throat there, but a little thing on a very nice pig. Young lady's got a calico gilt that's also coming back that I think you've got to appreciate in terms of her power. Like this one's chest with another big bladed, full-bodied kind of a gilt who's got a ton of mass and just a ton of shape. Again, with that mass, maybe starting to read just with a notch more maturity up front. I think maybe traveling just a little bit more unsecure there in terms of her hawk, but a lot of power and a lot of stoutness. Could be a class leader in those regards. Young lady's all black. Gilt's going to end up third. And when the young lady gets this one driving from the side, I think there's a lot of things to appreciate. I like this Gilt's height, the shoulder. This one runs uphill and proportions out very nice. A long-strided kind of a gilt who's flexible. I think as we start getting comparative and we start comparing her back to the two ahead, just can't match those two in terms of width, in terms of stoutness. Need to bolden that one's body up and then square up in terms of her shape up high. Young man's gilt that's going to go fourth. First word that comes to mind reading this one is just fresh. I think she studies fresh in terms of the shape of her body, fresh in the shape that she presents with behind her blade. I guess as we get him driving, I think she'll want to twist out on those rear two. She's a little bit flatter on her front feet there, and just isn't the tallest fronted one of the bunch. Young lady's gilt that's rounding out the top five, I think makes the cut. Just in terms of her stoutness of feature, like this one's jaw or forearm or foot size, and I think a broad back kind of a gilt as well. But there's some build things, young lady, that are going to limit you to fourth. I think she'll read more vertical in the angle of her blade there. Going to tighten there and pinch in her ham loin and just reads a notch shorter out of her rear step. But another nice top five. Go ahead, congratulate those kids if you would with a big round of applause.
Coming back out of class number 5 is going to be Olin Thompson and Allison Gowner. Have those ready to come back, guys. Okay, this is class number 6. We got 12 entries, 271 to 275 pounds. Class 6, 271 to 275. Go ahead and bring them in, Cody.
Where's my mother? She went to my niece. Oh, and she's gonna watch, like, get ready. Okay.
Okay, guys, everyone's in. Go ahead and switch on. Class number 7, start waking you, making your way over to the holding pen, please. Class number 7 to the holding pen.
Okay, guys. Whatever.
I think another really nice class here as we progress into our middle and heavier weights. Young man driving right at me here, and the young lady with the calico will be joining us back later in the show. Go ahead, give him a big round of applause. Coming back in, Cam Cox, and I know her last name. Let me find her here. Madison Allen. Sorry about that, Madison Allen, and Cam Cox coming back. I think I think a lot of good things that we're seeing in these top five. And as we're moving up into these heavier weights, I think freshness is starting to play a little bit more of a role in my mind. Just keeping them compositionally right and inbounds and in the correct kind of window. That was the first kind of sort we made out of the gate there. And then we can start looking at some extra and some additional things. I'll go ahead and share my thoughts in no particular order again on those top two. Young lady's calico bear, I think real appropriate in terms of his body length. Bear that proportions, I think real nice. Is bold in terms of his cage, presents with a nice shape up high, and is plenty flexible. I think if we want to get picky on him, probably just not the strongest there in terms of his jaw, probably not the cleanest at the top of his crest, or just maybe the squarest about his hock as he motors away. But I think in terms of proportionality and in terms of having the right shape and expression, like a lot of things about that one. Young man's bear, that's also going to end up in our top two. I think really like that one just from a structural integrity standpoint. Like how long-reaching and flexible and comfortable this bear is about his lower joint work, his blade angle set right, his spine is comfortable, and his hip is level. I think as maybe we dig in and we start finding holes, I don't think maybe just the neatest there ahead of his blade or the strongest about his pasterns, excuse me, but just a really nice muscular kind of a bear that is really I think super structurally sound. I think that's where he edges out the young lady's gilt that's going to go third, because young lady's gilt probably is just a notch bolder there in terms of her body. Probably leaves me with a little bit more shape and expression up high. I guess as we start studying that one, and that one's aesthetics. Probably just a little bit longer and frailer in terms of her face, reading a little bit plainer there about her loin edge, and it just doesn't handle her hind leg, as coordinated as this judge would prefer. Young ladies, or majority black gilt that's going to go forth, really stout. I think dense is the first word that comes to mind when we start describing that one, just in terms of her feature, her cage, and just her overall shape. I think, again, like we've been saying in some cases, for all that density up high, just reads too small in terms of her foot down low. Needs to appear a notch fresher blade forward as well. Young man's gilt makes the top five because I like this one's lean, expressive shape up high. Young man applies the whip, and I think she'll present herself long, extended, and tall blade. Ultimately, though, to the other ones coming and going, when we want to get comparative, just studies a little bit too base narrow in terms of her chest. Just can't match the overall skeletal width of some others in this lineup. But great top five, and another good group of kids and pigs. Go ahead, put your hands together if you would, with a big round of applause.
Again, Madison Allen, Cam Fox coming back out of that Class 6.
I think you got two more. I think this is 7.
Okay, class number 7 has 11 entries. 11 entries in class 7, 276 to 281. Class 7, 276 to 281.
freshman. 8th grade. 10th grade. Huh? Troy will be at 8th grade.
She's at work. I'm supposed to get this morning. Oh, yeah, you better. Then you can take the bed. I'm sure something is wrong.
Class number 8, make your way over to the holding pen, please. Class number 8, make your way to the holding pen. Class 8.
To have these two gentlemen here to my left join us back later in the show. I think a nice group of pigs. Different in the way that these top 5 shake out again, like we've had some classes before. But I guess in the top end, we'll go ahead and describe these things. Really like a lot of things about the young man's gilt here. Really huge impression in terms of her back shape. Leaves me with a lot of shape and dimension. Gilt that I think is extended. She's long. She's tall fronted there from the side. I think as maybe we start studying her, just not perfect, like we've mentioned in some other ones today, and how she transitions from her spine to her hip loin. Maybe just not the most perfect or comfortable in the way she plants her pastern at the surface, but little things on one that I think sorts up in this particular drive pretty quick. Young man's bear that's also going to be joining us back. I like this one's flexibility, this one's range of motion and comfort level. I think a really tall-bladed bear that's probably reading a notch drier in terms of his center body. Maybe just doesn't have the most outward turn and expression to his upper rib cage and his top side. But again, like this one's height of blade, like this one's flexibility and just overall range of motion. Young man's gilt that's been fighting him in the corner here is going to go third. Like that gilt's density in terms of her cage shape, her stoutness of foot, and her overall feature. Gilt that's got a lot of dimension. Another one of those situations, though, where I think we could just elongate and make this one a notch fresher there ahead of her blade and stout and correct the way her hind leg is built. But a really stout one and a dense one. And that's where I think she edges out those two gilts that are going to go fourth and fifth, excuse me. Because the one in fourth, really like this one's length, expression, and overall shape. Ultimately, though, needs to be stouter underneath and needs to be relaxed in terms of blade angle. Young man's rounding this out with a gilt that I think makes the top five just in terms of compositional correctness, like the freshness and leanness that she displays up high. Ultimately, though, longer and frailer about her face, just needs to go a little bit taller fronted as well for this judge. But another nice top five, another nice group of kids. Go ahead if you're ringside, put your hands together for all their efforts.
Class number 7, coming back out of class 7, Cutler, Woolston, and Tucker Thomas. Class 7, Cutler and Tucker. Okay, this is class number 8. We have 11 entries in class number 8. 282 pounds to 289 pounds, class 8. Or class 8. 11 entries, 282, 289. Go ahead, Cody.
I don't know. What is it? That's Hartford. Come on.
See ya.
same thing, color blue.
How are you? Good, that's cool. Oh my God, I got no more. I was telling Ed this morning, such the same thing like every year, and every year I can get on the internet, I can get through the year. So I brought 6 months from home. And just put my out. Because usually I go to the camera mic on, and it's okay. Yeah, we do. Every time there's a woman came up to me, and she said, her son's deployed in Africa, and these are things that before Africa, and I thought, I always like to see the 3 different colors of the camera. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. but especially when they're all weekend at the latest, the coach is probably after this one left this to go to another one. Yeah, but people doing coming up I have my coat pulled up and I did it and the camera itself was showing the wheel and I came back here and it would just have a tick.
Class number 9, make your way over to the holding pen, please. Class 9, make your way over to the holding pen. Class 9.
Yeah, if you want me to. Okay. I've got a meeting at 1. It all just comes down to how long it's been. Yeah. I can take you to lunch too. But yesterday we got today we got we started at 8 and the students are at 11 and the people it all just how long
Guys, as we're kind of getting towards the end of the hog show here, remember that you need to declare, if you have more than one market animal, you need to declare which one is going through the sale. So make your way over to the livestock office and declare which animal will be selling.
Yeah, the lights I'll take totally down. The cameras, I'll pull down and just set, and then I'll just put a couple of cameras up to the. It's like a little store. And then I always have to do the back.
Go ahead. Big round of applause for these two young people. We'll be seeing them back here in a little bit. I think another class where maybe we just can't stay most perfectly uniform in terms of type and kind as we look down, but I'm confident. We've got quality stock. We've got good pigs sorted up here on the front end. Just to describe those two young man's gilt, really like this one's freshness. I think at this weight and at this maturity, she's creased up in terms of her back. Fresh and bold in the shape of her body and her blade. I think a wide made gilt that still gets out and motors pretty well for the young man. Probably just a little bit longer in terms of her toe, a little bit frailer and smaller there in terms of her rear pastern and foot size, but little things on a good gilt that's going to go and join its back. Young lady's gilt, on the other hand, really appreciate this one from the side. A really tall blade. It's slick and neat in terms of her skull and her jaw shape, level about her spine and her hip there, and functions and motors off both ends, pretty dang flexible. But again, coming and going off both ends. I'd like to widen this one out, and especially going away, just give her a shot of extra shape and bulk and just overall expression. Young lady's bear that's going to go third here. I think there's still a lot of things we can appreciate about this guy. Broad in terms of his back, big as he leaps us in terms of his upper hip and his lower stifle. Stout-legged kind of a bear that I think gets out plenty sound. On that same token of the top three, probably the thickest and most mature there ahead of his blade. Needs to be taller fronted and just clamped a little bit square in terms of his foot and his elbow to go ahead and make that top two. But a really good one that's going to go ahead and land third for us. Yeah, young lady's bear here in fourth, real bold body, really big in terms of his back. Like when she drives this one at me, the width that he has at his sternum, But when we read below the sternum, when we start studying his lower joints, they need to be squared up in terms of his hop, picked up there off of his front feet, and then as we study the top side, leaned up just a little bit in terms of back shape. Speaking of lean back shape, though, young man brings out a white bear right here who's really expressed it there in terms of his top side. Has got a lot of shape and expression of this top side, though, probably just the stalest in terms of his head, just a little bit too stiff in terms of his hawk, but great top five and another good class, good way to progress the show. If you're ringside, put your hands together, please, for all these kids' efforts.
Coming back out of class number 8 is going to be Jared Paget and Kate Flegger. Okay, we're coming up on class number 9 here. Class number 9 has 12 entries, 290 pounds to 295, 12 entries, 290 to 295.
This is almost done. What's overweight? 300? Huh? 220 is extra weak. Put it that way in the front.
All right, Cody, bring him in. Make one more announcement as class 9 start to make their way in the ring here as well. Remember, guys, if you have an extra animal and it needs to go on a slaughter truck, that has to be turned in by tonight at 5 p.m. and has to be paid $25, 5 p.m. Livestock office tonight with tag numbers and all of your information.
One more and you'll get sick.
We get our heavyweight class 10 over to the holding pen, please. Class 10, make your way to the holding pen.
There we go. I think another really nice heavyweight class and good pigs here up on the top end. I think we've got 4 gilts in particular that really match up in terms of their type and kind. But those 2, especially on the top end, I think are real good. We'll start off in no particular order describing them, but the young lady's all black gilt, excuse me. Like this one's skull and jaw shape. She's so long-reaching and so flexible off both ends of her build. She still comes with an ample amount of muscle and overall muscularity, I think. Maybe just not the boldest right there as we study her forerib, but that's a very little thing, excuse me, on a really high quality one that I really like from the side. I think similar things can be said about the young man's blue and white gilt here. Really lean and expressive in terms of her shape up high, tall in terms of her blade, and she'll present herself really nice and proportionate from the side. I take some issue with the rear skeleton, young man. We just got to hinge her hock a little bit looser. Got to make her go a little bit faster there out of her rear wheels. But two really good, high-quality pigs there to go and stand on the front end of this class. Young lady's gilt that's going to go third. I like this one, just overall square build. She's dense in terms of her arm and her cage, big in how she presents up high. Leaves me with a lot of shape and dimension as well. I don't think maybe can match the two we've already discussed in terms of extension and just overall lateness and maturity. She's just not the most confident, I think, either, in how she'll sit down and use her rear leg. Wide belted gilt that's going to go fourth. Real wide chested, bold in terms of her blade shape, like how this one presents, so wide and broad in terms of her back. It's just some things about this one's lower skeleton, young man, we need to fix. We need to square her up at her knee and her hock, plant her just a little bit more comfortable as she steps down to the surface. Young man's going to round us out with the long barra this top four, who I think real soft, easy feeding and productive about his center body, long strided kind of a barra that we just need to neaten up front and make more expressive about his back. But another good top four, great way to progress the show, if you would, give these kids a big round of applause.
Coming back out of that class number 9 is going to be Aspen Silcox and Kyson Wolstenhue. Have those guys ready to go pretty quick. One class and then we're coming back.
Is it a clear one?
Okay, heavyweight class here, class number 10. We got 11 entries, ranging from 296 to 307. Class number 10. This is the final class, class 10, 296 to 307. Bring him, Cody.
But hey, I kind of want to see the grand champion. There's only 2 more classes. We got 2 more classes. This one and then this one.
Get up here.
Get up here.
Keep your left hand, take your right one for your tomorrow. You said top.
Nobody can look. Okay, you're supposed to pivot at the hips, not squat. Not squat.
And they're bucket. I love you, Wyatt. Love you, Wyatt.
There she is.
young man with the majority white pigs will be joining us back in a moment. Go ahead, give them a round of applause if you would. I think a really nice class of heavyweight pigs here. A lot of good things to see throughout. It's impressive that we've got these pigs to this stage and this weight, still kept them fresh and good in terms of their composition. I'll go ahead and share my thoughts on those top two for you. Young man's kind of calico-headed one here, I think offers a lot of good. Like this one's flexibility and range of motion, I think awfully dense and bulky in terms of his back and his cage. Really stout featured, and I still think it gets out motors good when the young man applies the whip. Maybe just not the tallest fronted bear out here, or just the neatest about his crest and his stroke. But at this stage and at this weight and maturity, I'll call him plenty acceptable, like a lot of things about that one. Young man's blue bear, I think, corrects that other one in some areas. I do like this one tight the shoulder. I like how this one proportions out appropriate in terms of his body length and level about his spine. I think comparatively, though, probably just comes, again, with just maybe a little bit more cheek like the other one we discussed, reading a little bit flatter and plainer there to the edges of his loin. But two really good ones to go back there. Not taking anything away, though, from the young man's belted gilt here, because another one, super wide at the base of her sternum, bold about her cage there, and uphill in the way that she proportions from the side. I guess front 2/3 in this one I like. It's the rear skeleton on this gilt young man that picked some holes in. She's shorter and rounder about her hip, just not as agile and coordinated as her hind leg. I can stouten up her foot there at the surface as well. Young man's got a gilt that I think is probably a little square built and a little bit boxier in terms of her kind when we compare back to that other one. Love her density, love her bulk and her overall power. And at that same time, though, of the top four, probably just the most restricted and timid one off both ends. We need to hinge that one just a little bit more loose and comfortable as the drive wears on. Young man's going to round out our top five here with a real long-bodied, extended kind of a belted gilt, like her shape, like her indentation up high. Again, it's another one of those scenarios. Her rear leg just needs to work better for me, young man. I'd just like to give her hawk, an extra shot of flexibility, maybe just some more outward turn there to her body as well. But a great top five and a great class to end on. Go ahead, if you would, one more big round of applause for these exhibitors.
All right, coming back out of class number 10, Cole Wolstenhuhn and Olin Thompson. Guys, what we're going to do is about a 10-minute break, so take them back to these heavyweights. Just go right there into the holding pen, freshen them up there. Everybody else, we got just a small break, and then we'll come in with our final drive. Two minutes, guys, 2 minutes. Have them ready to go. Okay, guys, everybody's got to get checked in through that holding pen. I know it's going to be tight, so if some want to come in first, some want to hold up a little bit, it's completely up to you guys. But everybody has to go through there just to get ear numbers checked as we come back in. So we're ready to go ahead and get started with this final drive. We're going to bring all 20 back. Once they get in the ring here, we'll congratulate this. This will be your star class when they all get in. Okay, we're gonna go start bringing these back in for our champion drive. There'll be 20 hogs in. Once we get them all in the ring, then close the gate, then we'll make the announcement on start class. All right, as this last hog makes his way into the ring, first of all, we'd really like to thank our judge, and we appreciate him coming out. We appreciate not only the fact that he can evaluate livestock and sort through these classes, but he appreciates these young folks that are out here driving today and the work that goes on behind the scenes to get here. He's actually had a chance to talk to every one of these people. He congratulated everybody on coming back in, but give him a round of applause. 2024, this is your star class. Great work, guys. Great class. This should be pretty fun. We're going to start sorting and we'll announce their placings as we release. In 20th, Riker Woodward. 19, Kinley Wolstenhume. Oh, this is Cutler's. Sorry about that. This is one of Cutler's. So Cutler Wolstenhume in 19. Lindy was exhibiting. Go ahead. Number 18, Cole Wolstenhume. Number 18, Cole Wolstenhume. Number 17, Kyson Wolstenhume. Kyson Wolstenhume, 17. Number 16, Cam Cox. Camden Cox, number 16. Number 15, Jarrett Padgett. Jarrett Padgett, number 15. And that's number 14. This is Olivia Wolstenhume's hog, her second hog. 14, Olivia Wolstenhume. Number 13, Hudson Wolf. That's number 13, Hudson Wolf. Number 12, Kate Flagger. Number 12, Kate Flagger. Number 11, Austin Thomas. 11, Austin Thomas.
Before I keep on selecting your the top 20 here, go ahead. The kids that have exited the ring so far, give them a big round of applause, please. A really fun hog show. I think, and I mean this genuinely, one of the funnest ones I've ever got to do because the quality level out here, in my opinion, is just immense. A lot of good stock, a lot of good pigs out here. Differences between them, and that's what sorts those 10 that we've talked, or that I've already dismissed. It's little things in some scenarios in terms of their hog placement. It's maybe they're a lighter weight pig and they don't have the mass and bulk maybe to get up here into our top 10. But still, we've dismissed some good pigs. One more big round of applause for those individuals, and I'll keep on selecting. Allison Downer. Allison Downer, 10th place. Ninth place, Madison Allen. Madison Allen, 9th place. Number 8, Lindsay Downer. Number 8, Lindsay Downer. In 7th place, Tucker Thomas. Tucker Thomas, 7th place.
Sixth place, Olin Thompson. Sixth place, Olin Thompson.
So those next five that have exited for us, go ahead, put your hands together for them and give a big round of applause. Like I said last time I was on the mic, a phenomenal hog show. Really, really pleased with the five individuals we've been able to assemble here in the drive. And I see a lot of things represented in the kind of livestock I like. And when we're talking hogs specifically, I like pigs that are stout and they're attractive in terms of their jaw and skull. They're tall at the top of their shoulder, tight and neat in terms of their throat. They run uphill and they're proportionate. Each third of their body matches each other in terms of length. And then before all that, they've got to come with the right degree of muscularity. They got to be compositionally correct and have the right kind of overall stoutness as well. And I think, like I said, we've assembled a group that's done that for us today. I'm going to keep watching and keep working through these. One more big round of applause, though, for the kids that have been dismissed.
As our judges evaluating here, we'll announce the buckle sponsors for the hog show. So Grand Champion buckle, sponsored by Flagger Show Pig, Summit County Fair, Summit County Council, and the Reserve Grand buckle is sponsored by M&L Brown Livestock, Summit County Fair, and the Summit County Council. They also have banners, Muley Tynes Hunt and Fish Network, and Woolston Hume Show Hogs helped us out on those two. Thanks to all the sponsors. Thank you.
Before I go and select your champions, and I'll start with champion and then work on down through fifth, I'll go ahead and share my thoughts as we have our top five amongst each other and here in the ring. No particular order. We're just going to describe it and share our thoughts. Gilt that come out of more that middleweight class. Like we said, super dense, super bulky, love her muscle pattern, love her stoutness of feature, love her overall expression. At the same time, I think maybe Reed's just a notch coarser in terms of her blade. She's not the most extended there ahead of her neck as well, and maybe just not the most mobile out here. But love her shape, her expression of muscle is certainly polarizing. Young lady's belted gilt out here. I think there's a lot of things to like. Really tall, braided, really slick there in terms of her jaw. Love her expression up high. Love her shape. I think as the drive is worn on, and these pigs have been driving for a long time, I understand that. I think probably she'll get a notch tighter, in terms of her spine, and maybe just not as mobile out of her hind leg, and then I'd like to just drop it and maybe soften and bulk up her lower rib, just to give her just a notch more balance, but really like a lot of things about that one. Calico Bear that came out of the heavyweight class, I think is real good. Like this one's shape, like this one's body, his muscularity, and still for having all that mass, I think he's fresh, and I think he's plenty mobile. And now being a heavyweight, is he as youthful as some of our other pigs out here? Maybe not, but I think is still in the window of acceptability, like a lot of things about that one. Young lady's all black gilt there that came out of that heavier to middleweight class. Really good looking from the side, young lady. Love this gilt skull and her jaw shape, big in the way that she presents up high. I guess maybe relative to her size and her scale as she's coming and going, probably could just widen her out a nickel there at the base of her chest and her sternum, and same thing going away. Maybe just a little bit more width relative to her size, relative to her scale, but a really good one nonetheless. The young man's all black there, super, kind of a lot of things like I said in that last pig, super cool there ahead of his blade, big and fresh in terms of his back. He's got a big old hip and upper pin set in him. He runs uphill. Maybe just not the cleanest at the top of his crest or the boldest right there at his forehead, but still a really good pick nonetheless. When we talk about getting them ranked, though, in a top 5 order, for me, it comes down logically to one out here. I think just totals up the most amount of good is a very high quality individual. After that, there's some sort, there's some give and some take in between these individuals. And I'm not sure I have my mind made up entirely on how I want to do those. I'll go out and shake your champion's hand and then keep working. One more big round of applause, though, before I do so. I think there's another pair of them in my eyes as we watch him drive a little bit more to logically fit that second and third spot. I think one of them, for his size and his weight, is just genuinely bolder, genuinely more massive. And then your third place, really good looking, just needs more. Fourth place, like I said, really tall bladed. There's some structural things we need to fix in that one. And then your fifth overall, really stout, but maybe just not the most mobile one as the drive wears on. One more big round of applause, and I'll go shake the rest of their hands. Reserve champion Levi Richards. Third place, Aspen Silcox. Fourth place, Olivia Wolstenhume. And fifth place, Cutler Wolstenhume. Congratulations, guys. Nice show. Great hogs. Thanks again to our judges. We appreciate it.
Oh no, I haven't had that one at all. So thank you. Oh yeah.